Okay, let's try and unpack this. Navigating today's world, it really feels like being caught in this constant swirl of change.
Absolutely. Volatility, uncertainty, all of it.
Complexity, ambiguity.
Yeah.
Yet the definition of a VUCA world, isn't it?
It really is.
And, in that kind of environment, where do you even find solid ground? For leadership, I mean.
That's the big question. A lot of the older leadership models, they sort of assumed things were more stable, more predictable.
Right, but the ground's always shifting now.
Exactly. So you need something more foundational, something deeper, perhaps.
Which is interesting, because sometimes looking back gives you that path forward.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us to this deep dive, looking into a really fascinating new book. It's coming out in summer 2025. It's called Transformational Leadership and Indian Philosophy.
Yeah, it's quite a unique combination. It's co-written by distinguished Professor Marc Opresnik. He's also an honorary professor over at the New Delhi Institute of Management. And Tuhin Mukherjee, who's an Indian coach and corporate trainer. So you've got this blend of academic insight and, practical application.
A really interesting mix, bringing together the super fast-paced modern business world with these, timeless ideas from ancient Indian philosophy.
Precisely. They're bridging that gap.
So our mission today, using some insights from their work, is to explore why. Why does this ancient wisdom feel so surprisingly relevant for leading effectively right now?
Especially in that VUCA world we just mentioned.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the source material, the book excerpts, they make it pretty clear. These VUCA challenges, the volatility, the uncertainty, all that, they make standard strategic planning incredibly tough.
You can't just rely on the old playbook.
Not really. Leaders need more than just, external strategies or tactics.
And the book seems to argue that alongside all the tech changes and global shifts, there's this growing need for leadership that's really rooted in meaning and wisdom, purpose.
Yes, that's a central theme. This is where the link to Indian philosophy gets really strong. Chapter 4, for instance, gets into teachings from figures like Adi Shankaracharya.
Yeah.
And it presents this idea of inner transformation as the necessary foundation for effective leadership out in the world.
So the core idea is sustainable change, real impact. It has to start inside the leader.
That's the argument. It's not just about learning new skills, though that's important too. It's about cultivating the leader's internal state.
What does that mean, though? Cultivating the internal state?
Well, the book talks about principles like working towards a pure mind, finding equanimity, self-realization, and interestingly, detachment from ego.
Detachment from ego?
Yeah. The suggestion is that real leadership power, the sustainable kind, comes from inner strength, clarity, and, wisdom.
Okay, so inner transformation is key. But how do these philosophical ideas, like equanimity you mentioned, how do they actually help a leader day to day?
Right, the practical application.
Yeah, how does equanimity help you lead your team when, everything's hitting the fan?
Okay, good question. The book connects them directly. Take equanimity. In this philosophy, it's about maintaining mental balance, composure, no matter what's happening externally.
Staying steady.
Exactly. So for a leader, that means acting calmly, clearly during high-stress times. Maybe a sudden market drop or a big project fails. That calm response, it stops panic spreading. It builds stability, trust within the team.
That makes sense. Okay, what about the detachment from ego one? That sounds a bit counterintuitive, especially when leadership often seems to reward being assertive, being out front.
It can sound that way. But detachment from ego here isn't about being passive or having no ambition. It's more about seeing leadership as a role of service.
Service.
Yeah, empowering others, not just a platform for your own personal gain or needing validation.
So what does that look like?
It means the leader can genuinely celebrate when the team does well without feeling threatened. They can take feedback, even criticism, without getting defensive.
Okay. And they make decisions based on what's best for everyone, for the goal, not just their own pride. That kind of approach, it fosters real respect, collaboration too.
And you mentioned empathy as well, and empowerment.
Right. The philosophy often emphasizes interconnectedness, this idea that we're all linked. Yeah. That naturally connects to empathy and compassion.
Seeing the team's success as your own.
And understanding their challenges, caring about their growth. The book suggests this builds incredible loyalty, motivates people on a much deeper level than just, targets.
And empowerment.
Empowerment through knowledge is another thread. Yeah. It aligns really well with encouraging intellectual stimulation, asking questions, challenging assumptions, getting rid of ignorance in the sense of unexamined beliefs. It sparks innovation.
So, okay, let's bring it all together. What this deep dive into transformational leadership in Indian philosophy seems to show is that these profound ideas from figures like Adi Shankaracharya.
Right, focusing on inner work, equanimity, empathy, detachment. They aren't just dusty old concepts. They actually offer a really powerful practical toolkit for leaders trying to cope with this constant disruption, this VUCA world.
Exactly. By cultivating that self-awareness, leading with purpose, with compassion, leaders can build trust, they can spark innovation, create teams that are genuinely resilient.
It really suggests that tackling all those external challenges effectively, it actually starts with building your own inner strength and clarity first.
That's the core message. Inner work enables outer impact.
Okay, so here's something really interesting to think about then. If navigating this VUCA world needs more than just new strategies, if it requires this deeper, more grounded way of being, what parts of your own inner world, listeners' inner world, could actually become your greatest leadership assets? Something to maybe reflect on your own leadership journey.